Hi guys, I'm Aydin Nazmi, Food Science and Nutrition. In 1916, a USDA scientist called Caroline Hunt published an article in which she recommended 5 food categories for optimal health: milk and meats, breads and cereals, butter and fats, vegetables and fruits, and sweets. These became known as the food groups and eventually as the U.S. Dietary Guidelines. Her recommendations were based on the most cutting-edge nutrition science of that time. This is pre-penicillin, mind you. We didn't even know what a vitamin was at that time. But to her credit, Caroline Hunt's recommendations were totally appropriate given the era's prevailing nutrition concerns and the food environment in which most Americans lived. They were solid evidence-based and practical guidelines. At that time, small agricultural producers were the norm, as were local markets, and everyday consumers prepared foods and meals from scratch using fresh ingredients. And that's not just because they were foodie hipsters. That was the only option of that time. It was, after all, the 20th century, the early 20th century. Woodrow Wilson was the president, and housewives spent 25 hours a week just preparing food. But change was coming fast. In the same year as Hunt's paper, Kraft processed cheese was invented, Mr. Peanut was created, electric refrigerators were first sold, and Donald Jones created the first double-cross hybrid corn. The American food environment would never be the same, and neither would the American diet. Fast forward to today, our contemporary food environment and our entire food system is, without exaggeration, a completely different planet. Virtually no food is small, local, or fresh. The food groups, on the other hand, are essentially unchanged, and we use them for the same purpose, to educate the public. Of course, we have much more evidence regarding the roles of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, which foods contain them, how to fortify, supplement, reduce, and prevent, but I propose we are missing the forest for the trees. In our forest, 70% of American adults are overweight or obese, 1/3 have diabetes, and 60% of the calories that we consume are from foods classified as ultra-processed. Our food environment is flooded with ultra-processed food products, that is, industrial formulations made with substances unrecognizable in domestic food preparation. These are mass-manufactured and distributed by transnational corporations, ready to eat or heat, hyper-palatable, skillfully branded, and aggressively marketed. These products are designed for maximum appeal and are highly profitable. Big Mac, Coke, Oreo, Campbell's, Kellogg's, Lean Cuisine, Doritos, Betty Crocker, the list is very long and reads like the scenery of any American supermarket. But fear not, the USDA says every one of these foods belongs somewhere within the 5 food groups because all foods contain nutrients. Fruit Loops and steel-cut oats are in the same group because they both contain grain. Frozen fish sticks and fresh fish because protein. As such, the U.S. Dietary Guidelines reflect a fundamental and intractable mismatch between what we say people should do, what people are able to do given their surroundings, and what we know is healthy food. Indeed, the evidence against ultra-processed food products is strong, consistent, and damning. It is clear that conventional food classification no longer works. We need fresh thinking to study, teach, and do nutrition in the 21st century, and this is the reason I'm here, to see if any of you clever people might agree that we are thinking about food wrong, and whether you might be interested in helping us think about it right. No red card.